Injury after injury after injury. Injuries in football are really skyrocketing right now. And the main question I want to answer in this video is if modern rehab, injury prevention, and physio at the professional level is really good enough. I think it's about time that someone takes this question more seriously with the amount of injuries happening, the amount of re-injuries occurring. Even though I'm no professional, I'm gonna look at the trainings of professional clubs and footballers. I'm gonna look at Neymar, I'm gonna look at Real Madrid, Barcelona, what they're doing. I'm gonna look at Getafe as well. It's gonna be interesting, and I'm just gonna make a big rant out of it. So if you wanna hear that, make sure to stick around. First, of course, we gotta say the loads at the professional level are just too high. It's just too much. It's as simple as that. If the load is too much for your body to handle, it's gonna result in an injury. I think that's pretty clear, and we cannot do nothing about that because the games played are probably not gonna change. The training sessions are probably not gonna reduce because that's how modern football is. So I think the question is more about how can we prepare our body to be able to handle more, be more efficient, to handle those loads, be more protected even when loads are high. And the first thing that came to my mind there regarding that question was recovery. You need recovery to be able to tolerate the loads again. But then I thought about it again and realized that the only thing that would really make an impact on recovery times is to lower the games played, and that's not going to happen. And no massage and no supplement is ever going to make up for the lack of recovery time. So my conclusion is that we gotta step up modern rehab and strength work, especially gym work. We gotta step that up to really make the body stronger, to be able to handle more. It's a simple math equation. Your body's stronger, you're gonna be able to handle more. And I'm not just talking about muscles, please, but let's just have a quick look at what Barcelona is doing in the gym. Actually, let's look at this preseason session from Barcelona first. And the thing with this conditioning program, whatever it is, this preseason training, it's not going to make you bulletproof. It's going to make you sweat, yeah, but it's not targeting any specific areas, the areas that are most commonly injured. Yeah, some ankle stability is in, but what happens when you step on someone's foot? And I'm telling you, the knees are suffering the most because they're never used through that full range of motion, which simply leaves the connective tissue weaker than it could be when you would actually go into that full range, develop the connective tissue. There are studies showing that you can grow all of that. You can grow your meniscus, your cartilage, your ACL, all of that, but that's full range of motion enhances that much more than just that upper range impact, force production stuff. So the fact that the training they do mainly targets muscles and not connective tissue is the most obvious thing I'd say can be improved in their training. Of course, I don't have the footage of all their training, but to be honest, I've never seen them doing a full squat. And I don't believe they're doing it, to be honest. If you see a footage, if you see someone doing a full squat, Barcelona squat, full squats, send me that. I would be surprised and happy actually, because I like Barcelona, but if you look at the injury list right now, man, it's horrible. Yeah. But even when it comes to muscle development, I think there could be done more. Like, let's take the hamstrings as an example, the Nordic hamstring curl. I don't have footage of all the players doing the Nordics, but I've seen like Alonso doing the Nordic and he's going down. Yeah, it's not bad, but he's not doing a full Nordic. He's not doing a full Nordic, and I'm just saying, if he was to do a full Nordic, or he was able, I don't know if he's really able, but I don't think so, he's going to be more protected against ACL tears and also hamstring strains. It's shown in studies, and I'm going to continue to say that. So Nordic is a great exercise, but bro, keep chasing that Nordic, especially you, if you're not yet a professional. Keep chasing that Nordic. It's only going to make you more protected and faster as well. Then instead of just doing half squats, because that's what we use in sports, upper range, blah, blah. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, do the strength development. I'm doing that as well. But you want to do full knee bend squats as well to develop that full joint. The benefits of it are evident. Yet those professional, those strength and conditioning coaches at the higher level, maybe they've learned from textbooks that are pretty outdated now. Like from the textbooks that said, yeah, you can't squat past your toes. It's more pressure. It's dangerous. Maybe they've learned from that, or I don't know. But to be honest, really, if you've seen like knees over toes guy, for example, he's had amazing success just by putting athletes into full range squats. It's as simple as that. Full range squats, proper frequency, proper volume throughout the season, in the off season as well. You're gonna make huge gains. And of course, I don't know the exact reasons behind your training. I don't know the exact training schedule. I don't know all the exercises they're doing. But looking at the latest gym session, for example, the latest gym session they posted on YouTube, I had a look at it and I haven't seen a single full deep knee bend. All exercises were about force production. Sled, only pushing it forwards, not backwards. Squats, only to 90 degrees. Box jumps, but not depth drops. I'm not saying those exercises are bad and don't work. No, no, no. I'm just saying that only doing these exercises, if they're really only doing these exercises I'm seeing there, that could be one of the reasons for Barcelona's huge injury list. Absolute huge injury list. Now, the injuries happening is one thing, but the other thing I think that's even more influenced by how you train is rehab. And that's just rushed most of the times because the players have to get back ASAP. Look at this poor guy, man. What are they doing, bro? Like, what is going on? But let's just have a closer look at this poor guy, Neymar. He's the best example of what can happen when you're not properly rehabbing injuries. He fell like many other players as well in that painful cycle of injury after injury after injury. And of course, he's a player that gets fouled a lot and provokes it. But still, clearly his feet and ankle are just trash. Let's just have a quick look at his injury history. It begins with an ankle sprain, 2014, his first injury. Then he got a foot injury. Remember those two: foot injury, ankle injury. Ankle sprain again. Also tore muscle fiber in the adductors. That's where like his adductor problems begin. Adductor pain, thigh problems, adductor pain again. But I think the most important thing here is really his ankle injuries. After those initial injuries, it's okay. Injuries happen, knocks, minor knocks. And then the first injury in his foot, 90 days out, metatarsal fracture. Actually had to look up what that is, and it's actually in his foot, a fracture in his foot on the outside of his foot. And yeah, that's when his foot kind of showed, yeah, it's weak, or I don't know how that exactly happened. Doesn't really matter because then he got it again. So definitely rehab wasn't good enough. Maybe he was just unlucky. And then the most important thing that happened is, I think, the ankle ligament tear, the next thing. 2019 ankle ligament tear, and just a few months later, no coincidence, he injured his hamstrings. Because once your ankle is really that injured, it can't work properly anymore. It can't flex down the way it naturally does and should. Your hamstring is much more prone, much more susceptible to injury. Then let's move on. Hamstring injury. Was out there for a few weeks actually. Then adductor pain just comes up again, coronavirus, bro. Then his ankle problems again. Adductor pain again. Adductor. Ankle injury again. Ankle injury again. Ankle surgery. And I'm telling you, how many ankle injuries does he have, man? Is the rehab not good enough? Is he just not strong enough? Is it like genetical? I think with proper training, proper rehab, and not stuff like they're doing right now for his ACL stuff. Have you seen that? It's horrendous to me. But yeah, cruciate ligament tear as a follow-up to all that ankle stuff, because once your ankle is not able to absorb the forces anymore like it should, because it's so fucked up. I mean, after so many ankle sprains, ankle injuries, even surgeries, your ankle is probably not going to work properly anymore. And that's when the knee begins to suffer, because it has to take up all that force. Still, that's like, I'm not medical advice giver, however you call that. I'm not a professional, but you have to understand, if your ankle, it begins at your feet. If your feet are not working properly, it comes up to your ankle, it comes up to your knee, to your hip. All that is connected. So you want to work from the ground up. That's why I begin every workout with backwards walking. I'm pushing the toes into the ground, already strengthening the feet, the ankles, the knee in the knee over toe position. But I don't know, to be honest, what they're doing in his rehab, but from what I've seen, those little sit-ups and those rope swings, what is this doing for his knee? What is this doing for his knee? Why don't you just try to get some blood flow to the knee by walking backwards? Could be an option. I mean, we've seen great success with people recovering from ACL tears by walking backwards, the blood flow, initial blood flow, healing, then getting into a Patrick step up from the floor, assisted, working up that knee ability. But yeah, to be honest, when I looked at this injury list, I was shocked, but also I thought, like, it's no coincidence that now this ACL tear happened. So many ankle injuries that weren't rehabbed enough. And you got to understand, once you have an ankle injury, you're now 4 times more likely to get another one. So if you're not properly rehabbing that, the next time you get another one, you're even more probable to get a next one. And that's an endless cycle. Like, it's definitely difficult, especially at the professional level, where you don't quite have a choice. You have to play. It's your job, and you get pressured to get back ASAP. I mean, look at what they did with Neymar. They fucking pressing his knee to get into full knee bend. Bro, slow it down, man. Get the blood flow, get the healing first, and then you can work into that full range with an ATG split squat, for example. But yeah, that's pretty much all I had to say about Neymar as well. A ton of injuries are happening, and we gotta try to change that. And I'm trying to help you to realize there are ways to really make you more bulletproof. It's not just a term that's thrown out there. Yeah, get more bulletproof, and you're not actually doing something for it. But you actually can, like, get more stronger. Of course, you're never gonna be bulletproof. Injuries are always gonna happen, but you can actually develop and provide that strength to your joint by really using it through the full range of motion, using it like it has to be used normally to be maintained during life. If you look at Asia or Africa, people don't have like knee problems. My grandfather is squatting, deep squatting every day because he's doing it every day. But if you're just playing football, pushing, and that's, I think, the biggest problem nowadays, just pushing, without actually working on the brakes to slow all that force down, to handle all that force, all that load you're producing. Finally, let's just have a closer look at Getafe Training, a team that plays in La Liga professionally. Let's just, sorry, what is this? Heel elevated, slant board, kettlebell swoops from Mason Greenwood here. Okay, interesting stuff. So yeah, you see some stuff there at the highest level. You really think, like, are these guys really supposed to be there training those professional players, those conditioning coaches? I don't know. It's not in my hands. It's just what my opinion is like, I wonder, a lot of them are just obsessing over their core, rotational strength, rotational power, throwing some bench presses, then half squats here and there, RDLs, and then they expect the players to handle the high demands of the game. Man, I think that's underestimating of how high, how freakishly high those demands are at the highest level. You can't just do half squats, bench presses, RDLs, some rotational core work, some stability drills for your ankle, and think you're fine to go. That's not working nowadays. So, and some foam rolling and massages will not make up for that either. Yeah, so your knees are suffering, your ankles are suffering. What you got to do, make your knees stronger, make your ankles stronger through all that ranges. All the ranges. Really, I'm showing it on my channel how you can do that, and I hope to be helping you. Look, I'm no physio, nor am I a professional strength and conditioning coach, but I'd really love to see what's possible if every single professional football player would perform full range deep squats. And then also, instead of the endless conditioning and pushing forward, jumping and running, they actually, for conditioning, they did forwards and backwards sled. I love to see that. I really love to see what would be possible by doing that. I think some great changes could actually happen. And I also made a detailed video about why deep squats are so important, so make sure to check that out. Yeah, that's a little different video today. No like structured script or anything. I hope it still helped you, and you got to know my ideas a little bit better. If it helped, make sure to subscribe if you haven't yet, and share this video with someone that needs to hear this rant as well. And I guess we'll see us in the next video. And don't forget, stay logged in, especially if you don't feel like it.